everybody. We are back with another episode of Bling Talks. We have Julie Lamb with us today. She is the designer and founder of Julie Lamb New York. Julie, it's a pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for spending the time with us today. I can't wait to talk to you and hear more about your story and success. Thank you for being here with us today.
Thanks for having me. I can talk about jewelry forever, so I don't know how you're going to edit this.
Well, we'll find a way. We'll find a way. It's again, I know you're busy. I know you're over there building your empire, your business, and just wanted to say thank you for being on the call today with us, and also sharing some information with our community. So again, thank you, and let's get it kicked off. So Julie, kind of just tell us how you got into jewelry and how you got into the business.
Okay, so pretty linear story is I was making jewelry since I was a little girl. And that was anything I could get my hands on. So of course, beads. My dad was a salesperson in the garment district, so he did take me on the L train all the way into the city to work with him. And on his lunch break, he'd take me around to some of the bead stores, and like with $10, I would get so many things. I'd be so excited. I would also raid his garage for nuts and bolts and whatever. So I made jewelry out of anything and everything I could find. So I was growing up in Brooklyn, New York, and a friend's older brother was going to the High School of Art and Design in Manhattan. And I was like, wait a second. I can just take a couple of trains and I can draw during the day. And I was so excited. So I applied to such a public school. It's a magnet school, you apply to get in. So I was an illustration major there. And that was all, 2D and the fundamentals and perspective and all this stuff. Actually, I found that old teacher on Instagram because he's still working, and we are back in touch, Mr. Chinelli.
Oh my gosh, that is incredible.
No, he's amazing. He was my favorite teacher. So anyway, I'm there, and in my spare time with my best friend, we were running into the garment district and Canal Street and just buying all these little parts and beads and components and clay, all this other stuff. And we started heavy making jewelry like after school as like our hobby. And that's what made me I was 16 and I was like, I'm going to be a jewelry designer. And
wow.
I was completely hooked and devoted. So I only looked at colleges that had a metals program, and I went to Syracuse University to major in metalsmithing. So, and then it was like the summer after I guess sophomore year, you take your first classes in your core in your major. And I knew I was coming back to the city, for the summer. So I asked my professor if he would recommend like a jeweler that I could, sweep the bench for or whatever. He's like, you don't have enough experience yet. You just, you know what I mean? I was like, geez, man, I will do anything just to be around the jewelers, So without his help, I ran around Soho and I was going in and out of jewelry stores, and I just said, hey, who does your repairs? And eventually I got a name. It was Oscar Silver at the time. He's still around. I think he works for Hammerman now. And he took me in and let me play at the bench and carve some wax and do some stuff. And designer who was walking in and out getting her things done, I ended up picking up some errands for her. I was wire wrapping her necklaces and running to her caster and going to Myron Toback to pick up wire and stuff, which I still do, and I did this week, and everyone's still there. So things I was doing at 19 I am still doing today, which is just funny. Long story long.
Yeah, no, that's really, most people don't figure out what they want to do in life till it's too late. I mean, you're going to school, you're going to classes, and then people are in college what the heck can I even pick this this major for? I have no interest in it. So I think that's cool that you never really had to question what you loved and what you're passionate about, and what a blessing. I think that's really cool.
But I'm still that excited. I remember my first job out of school was for Erickson Beamon, and I remember I was like, oh my God, they're gonna pay me to make jewelry. I came into the job so excited. I was so annoying. I was like a new puppy, and I think everyone else hated me. But I'm still like that. So if I'm stone shop, so, not all the days can be that exciting, but let's say, stone shopping, or you get to go to Tucson, or I don't know, something comes out really good. I'm like, I have that little kid energy that I love doing this. I always did.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
amazing. I think,
very happy
um,
about that.
yeah, I think from the customer's standpoint, like from a customer experience, I don't think, I think that's hard to replace. Yeah, that passion, and it's hard to put a price on it as well. So that's amazing. And, um, so you're kind of more in the, you're a designer by nature, and you've had a
Mhm.
lot of experience in that. And I think that's important to touch on. Typically here we're getting a lot of, family owned and operated jewelers, some independent startups, people who are out there doing their own thing, doing really well and succeeding in it. Um, but I think it all starts with design. And so tell us about your experience with that, and how it flowed into what you're doing now.
I like to think it all starts with design as well. Actually, so funny, when I did work in corporate, like I designed for Avon for over 6 years, and it was funny. I got one of the many bosses I had over the years, and she came in from a supply chain background, and now she's taking over this, mixed marketing and supply chain product development team. And one of the first things she did was, she's like, I want everyone to sit in this room, and you make me the chart of the process here, like what everyone does, where everyone's jobs intersect and whatever. And someone from supply chain was running it, and they started with, we get the sample from design. That was their first step. And I was
Mhm.
like, whoa, 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 whoa. Where do you think that comes from? Oh my God. I was like, my 12-step process is like not even, oh my God, we have to go back to the beginning. So then I had to give them the beforehand of it. It's just so interesting. So like, you have to take your skills. So obviously design, that's easy and natural to me. And then product development is like the next piece of that. It's like, all right, I have this idea. Maybe I did a sketch, or maybe I have a stone. How, over the years, I'm learning through all the companies I used to work for, and I used to go to China twice a year. I used to do trend shopping a couple of times a year, whether that was to Europe or to like JCK and Tucson. So I was exposed to all these things. So I'd say product development is the next thing that you never stop learning on that, because the technology keeps coming in. Keeps getting more interesting. And then I did report into marketing for many, many years at Avon. So I do like to write. I like to play with the words. Like if you're on my website and you see, I call it my concepts. So the wording and the conceptual piece of my collections come to me at the same time as the design. Like it's all together for me. So I
Mm.
say it's design, it's product development, it's marketing. Merchandising is also easy for me. It's a visual thing. I definitely do it more on the visual side, and there's merchandisers and merchandisers, because at the bigger companies they're doing it, more in an Excel type of way to balance their price points. I get that too. So all those things, and anything that touches creative, is very easy and natural for me. And then there's running a business.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask.
So then that's where we stop with the natural, and that's where the challenges come in. And you know what I mean? I put off working for myself for all these years because I was like, I don't know how to run a business.
Yeah. Um, well,
Doing it.
yeah, you are doing it, and it looks great. And I don't know. I've always been a business owner. Everybody I talk to is business owners. The thing about it is, at least for me, the business has always been a constant source of personal development. It's kept me in check as a
Oh my
man.
God.
It's kept me in check
Yeah.
as a human being. It's forced me to develop. And then the other thing is, you have these creative people, and then you have your um logical kind of get it done mindsets, and typically it's usually, people split it in men and women. Men are like your logical, like hammer it down type thing, and the more feminine side is the creative side. But all men and women have both. There's a creative, and so I actually love the creative side of my business, but I'm not able to get out in front of that very much because
Right.
I'm stuck on the other side. But I think it's good. I think it's good and cool that you're doing that. And I think you're on the right podcast and in the right room. So I think you're gonna crush
No,
it. And
you
you have
need both sides. You need all the sides, and like you said, the business itself like levels you up. Like you're as an entrepreneur, and this is that I wasn't prepared for. Like you're just looking at yourself every day. Like you have to face yourself and what you're good at, and leverage that, and what you're terrible at, and then figure out how to right get those resources to compensate for the things that you're not great at or don't come naturally. I had some great bosses over the years, like I would say Avon again, and also at Nine West, and I had been told, you're like, no, both, you're not, I forgot, it's left brain, right brain, whatever. Like, no, you have both sides. Like, you're a designer who I would like to sit with the numbers people. Do I want to run the numbers? No, I do not. I still do not want to. I would like to sit with someone who does that in and out, and I want to understand it, because once I understand what's selling, for example, then you're a better designer because you're informed. So that's period, end of story. So it's just like, what do you want to spend all your time on? Is it accounting? No, it's not for me. But like I know where the lack is, and I know what I have to compensate for. And those are the people that I look for to either hang out with or hire for, certain projects too. So I can, be more well-rounded for my business. And yeah, it's just such a growth thing when you're just like, it's me against me every day.
very, very much so. And yeah, I've been there before. There is one thing I would recommend that I do send out to people, which is a book called Traction. And they also have a software system, but it basically allows you to set out, hey, what's our goal here? What's our vision as a company? And then what do we want to accomplish this quarter? And then you break it down into weekly things. And it kind of really organizes the efforts. Whereas if not, we're
Right.
just waking up, and it's just
Throwing stuff at the
go to
wall.
sleep.
Yeah.
But
Well, there's a lot
but
of that
yeah,
at the beginning. There's a lot of that at the beginning before you find your footing, and you find like until you really know your customer, and all those things, like what you think your customer is when you're just starting versus like who's actually buying it. And are you paying attention to that? Are you ignoring her, who she is, or are you embracing it? There's so much to learn.
yeah,
So
absolutely. Um, so you're on the design side and now also the owner and founder side. How are you using artificial intelligence or technology? How's that kind of playing in, or how's that on your radar?
I mean, I can only speak to it like really small scale. So, back, like I was always an art student. My brother was like the math kid. My grandfather, this is a million years ago, he told my family, your sister doesn't think computers are here to stay. Because I didn't want to touch the thing. Okay. I was very uninterested in it. However, until I got an iPhone, now I'm addicted to the thing. Okay. So it's Apple like turned me. And the fact that I could like run my business from this phone, it's insane. And there's too much screen time, la la la. Enter, Instagram, you're on your phone even more. My Shopify app running the website is also on the phone. We're doing it on the iPad right now. I'm with the phone and the iPad. Sometimes it's phone, iPad, desktop. The fact that you can run it from, an airport or waiting online or answer, it's kind of amazing. And just, I mean, this is real basic. I'm not doing any like crazy technology things. I would say the biggest jump for me in technology was, I am old enough to remember when people started, using CAD for
Yeah.
jewelry. You know what I mean? There were two major shifts, but this is when I was working, not so much in my business now. It was number one in fashion jewelry. Now I was based in New York City, and we were using a lot of costume jewelry manufacturers in Rhode Island because that was a base then. Now I'm working for a bigger company, and they're doing stuff overseas. That was a huge shift for me because before you'd have the catalogs from the different manufacturers, like these are the stones you can have, these are the lockets you can have, these are the chains you can have. You get, you email China, they're like, all right, well, send me your catalog. What do you have? They're like, what do you want? I'm like, wait, what do you have? What do you want? What do you have? What do you want?
Yeah, yeah. They had
We
everything.
can make anything. I was like,
Yeah.
whoa. So between that and then having CAD designers on staff, it was another. I'm like, well, what setting can I use? They're like, well, we can build one around what stone. I was like, whoa. So those things were really like mind bending, like eye opening kind of things. And that was such a major shift. And then it opens your brain. Like once there's a new technology, once the new factory has blank, a laser etching machine, a CNC milling machine, whatever manufacturing technology, that just like
Yeah.
for a designer, it's like, wait, I can have this. What does this do? Tell me what it does, and then I'll start dreaming in it. You know what I mean? And I love all that. I like a factory tour. Like put me in the factory. Show me all the things.
Amazing. Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, that
It's
is true.
exciting.
Those are some
Making
major,
stuff,
major
making stuff
advancements.
is always exciting.
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. Well, let's
Mhm.
see what else here. Okay, when it comes to what are some of the obstacles? Let's say like what's an obstacle that you face with your business today?
Well, I would say, I guess the top thing in it that like worries me is like I've been working, I work alone, but not alone. Like I'm in charge. And I'm not alone when I'm in the diamond district and I'm going down to the caster and the stone dealer and the setter and all, I have all these people I work with there. Feels like my team or whatever. But I mean, on marketing and other stuff, currently being alone. So I'm like, I want to get to that breaking point where I can't handle it.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be that, do you have enough money to pay somebody for blank, blank, blank? You know what I mean? It has to be like that swell that it's just too much, but you take that leap with enough money to have a little bit of help. So I guess the working alone has its benefits and pros and cons there, but scaling up.
Yeah, yep. As most businesses, especially sole entrepreneurs or
Yeah.
startups, that's the name of the game. And I don't think you're gonna have a problem with that. I think you'll be able to grow as
I'm,
much as
I'm
you want.
always like halfway looking for like my better half in the business. Like that would be a sales marketing technology person. That would be it. It would, yeah, those the things that I'm like, ew. Have to be like numbers first, numbers and sales. I don't usually talk to anybody if it's not leading to sales.
Right.
Like, because it could be a pain. I'm getting better, more used to it, but that was not the thing that for me, sales is, I have a new idea that I want to make, and to afford the new product development, you have to sell a thing to make
Need
a thing.
customers. I
That's
get
as
it.
simple as it is for me.
Okay.
So
Got it.
to afford my next idea, because I say all my ideas are expensive. The only thing that's changed for me, in all these years is, the materials I use now are the most expensive. They're not, beads and string. So we're here now. So that's what, besides customers ask me for stuff when I want to do my own stuff,
Very cool.
getting comfortable with sales is a thing.
Yeah, let's talk more about that. Maybe we'll have another meeting and kind of dial in on that stuff and who your customers are and how you're
Mhm.
acquiring them and how we could get more and possibly do some creative outside of the box type of stuff. Do you do like celebrities and um professional athletes, any of that type of stuff, or just these are just people you're meeting and
That
they
would be
referral?
nice. Yeah. And people are always like, oh, if you only you can get it on a celebrity. I'm like, all right, listen, you have to actually get it to them and then like, they have to be photographed in it. You have to get the correct, like, I don't know how to do that. That's very expensive PR. I will tell you, I'm very lucky. So my last name being Lamb, that's my only last name I've ever had since I've been on this earth. And it's so much fun. So my logo is the little lamb, which I like to put on everything. And so because of that, my first line of jewelry was called BU, like EWE, like a sheep.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So what I wasn't prepared for was that when I launched social media in 2015, I put BU on these little lamb necklaces, and I have the black sheep of the family and black diamonds and this whole fun thing going on. I got knitters and I got sheep farmers. So I'm here in New York, always doing New York, and I'm just like, I don't knit. I know I'm crafty, but that's not my thing. And I just like, whoa, what is happening? Like, that's the power of hashtag. So luckily I listened. People were buying these lamb necklaces, and they have messages of empowerment on them, like stand up, rock your flock, and be you, and stand out, and all this fun stuff. Anyway, I listen to these ladies, and I do all these like sheep and wool festival related things. So I have shows to do that are not within the jewelry industry normal shows. So I'm not surrounded by other jewelers. I'm surrounded by yarn and stuff like that. So I really do stand out, and I've become like the fine jeweler to the knitting community. So I do, it's been like super interesting because these are they're not your normal jewelry shopper. They're buying it because it means something to them, and it's about their passion and their hobby and their creativity that I'm speaking to, and they're very forthcoming with me, and they'll be like, oh, you should have a bracelet to this, or we like these backings on the earrings, or we need longer lengths, or whatever they're saying at the shows. I take notes and I do it. And I just, they've are you going to be here, are you going to be here, are you going to be there? This is a hobby and an industry that I had no knowledge of. I listen to this customer, and she tells me where to go and be and do, and I I
Amazing.
follow. So this another great piece of it is like, these are women who are shopping and enjoying with their friends, and this is their hobby and their passion. So X amount of them have crossed over and bought other pieces from me from my other collections, like my city collection, or I've done bespoke. I've reset their engagement rings at this point. You know, I have a handful of those women coming to see me for one reason that have come with me on the other jewelry journey, and they're like really good fine jewelry customers now. They weren't looking for jewelry when, yeah. So that's
Yeah.
like a blessing wrapped in a heart, wrapped in a thank you, wrapped in a hug. Like, I don't, it's been so amazing of an audience that I've been able to cultivate and stick. Yeah, they're my flock. They're my ambassadors, and
Yeah.
they're
Ah, that's great. You are
I
good.
go
You
I
are
go
really
along
good
with
with
all of
those.
it.
You are good with
It's
those.
been really
Lambasted.
fun, but it wasn't, it's so amazing to be outside of the industry and like mix it up with a different industry and be part of that in like a weird, like a weird angle in that industry. So it's been fun.
Yeah, I mean, what a good fit. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
sometimes it just happens like that, you know? You're
Yeah. It's
that's fun.
I didn't know that was gonna happen. Like, I couldn't have. I'm like, I'm not that brilliant that I would have thought of this, but yeah, it happened, and I just followed it. So it's been really good. And I mean, in the beginning, that was mostly what I was selling, was more of the sheep stuff. Now, as I've gone along, and I've gotten an award here and there, I do some of the shows or whatever, more notoriety in my chosen field and fine jewelry. It's different, but those ladies like kept me alive in the beginning for sure. It was nice to have like a dedicated audience of people who are like excited to see you at your booth. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I didn't have to, if I'm showing sheep and diamond jewelry to jewelry people, they're
They're
looking at me like,
what do you
I'm
yeah.
crazy. I'm like,
Yeah.
I know what you're thinking. Yeah, I'm crazy. Okay, fine. But when I show up at a yarn show and I have diamond little lammies, they immediately know what it is. They're like, oh, they love it. And I'm like, these are my people right here. I'm like,
Yes.
I don't have to explain myself. I don't sound crazy here. I'm gonna stay here.
I love that.
So really a
Well,
gift.
congratulations on everything that that you have done in the industry and over the years. And um, I love to see entrepreneurs doing what they, feel like they're meant to be, right where they're supposed to be. And I feel like you're there. And I look forward to seeing you grow. Most importantly, um, if you guys want to get a hold of Julie, whether it's for some custom jewelry, a custom design, or you want to learn from her, collaborate with her, where can people find you? Like website, Instagram, LinkedIn, whatever's best for you, phone number.
So we're gonna keep it easy. So the website is Julie Lamb, LAMBNY.com. Instagram is the same thing, Julie Lamb NY. Threads is the same thing. And I have a phone number. It's 212-496-LAMB. I'm trying to keep it consistent here.
That was perfect. That was perfect. So julielambny.com. Julie, thank you so much for sharing your story, your wisdom, your experience, and your passions, and also your business with us. It's been a pleasure. I appreciate it. I look forward to helping you and vice versa and building a relationship and watching Julie Lamb crush it.
Trying to crush it. Oh, I forgot. Appointment on West 48th Street in the Diamond District as well. Thanks, Anthony, for all the great questions. And like I could do this for hours, like I said, so you better shut me off now.
No, that's okay. We'll have another one for sure. I just like to keep them around 20-30 minutes so the viewers can get in and out. But yeah, we will definitely be talking more. And
Perfect.
again, guys, thanks for listening to Bling Talks. Julie Lamb, you rock. Talk to you soon.
You
And
rock.
guys, if you